Most advice online didn't work for me. What worked for me was going on a dopamine detox for 2 weeks and leaving social media. These 2 weeks that I have been on this detox have taught me a lot about discipline, self-improvement, stress, and social media in general. So in today's video, I'm gonna tell you the couple lessons that I learned from being on this dopamine detox. Now, number one, the thing that I learned from being on this dopamine detox is I learned that social media is junk food. Now, when you think of junk food, you think of McDonald's, Jack in the Box, In-N-Out, all these fast food chains, right? I know for a fact you have ate junk food before. And when you ate it, right, that in the moment it feels nice, you're eating your junk food, it feels great, right? But then later on, you feel very bloated, you feel very stressed out, you have low energy, etc., right? That's what junk food does to you. Same for social media. When you watch TikTok or scroll on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, it feels nice in the moment, right? You're scrolling, having a nice laugh, looking at a brain rot, right? It feels cool, right? But then later on, you're all stressed out, you have low energy, you don't want to do anything, you have zero motivation, etc. That's what social media does for you. And junk food is the same thing as well. Both of these two things go hand in hand. That's why I say social media is junk food and you should not use it. And that is something that I learned being on the detox for 2 weeks, because literally yesterday I got Instagram again, and the first thing I see when I go on the app is literally Jeffrey Epstein files, or Trump on the Epstein files, Israel war, this and that. Like, it's just so much information on Instagram and social media that it just bombards your mind with so much information that you don't even know what to do with it. That's why social media is just junk food and a waste of time. I'm saying this from my personal experience, and I think social media is junk food and it's a waste of time and you shouldn't even have it, okay? But mind you, if you're a creator posting content on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, sure, okay, that's exceptional. But if you're not a creator and you're still scrolling on TikTok and Instagram and consuming content, what are you doing? You're wasting your entire life. That's what I think. You can disagree, but I personally think that if you are someone who doesn't have something meaningful that they're chasing every single day, and you're just coping and scrolling on TikTok and Instagram all day, what are you doing? You should delete Instagram and social media, because they're definitely a waste of time, okay? Because I always remind myself that my life mission is to retire my parents. And if I waste any second of my life not doing that, I'm a complete failure. Okay, that's something I tell myself every single day, is if I am not working hard on my business, on my goals, and trying to become the best version of myself, I'm wasting my time, and I'm wasting my time on this earth. Okay, so social media is junk food. It's a waste of time, and all it does is just causes you more stress, builds up more stress and more problems in your life. So on this detox that I was on, I learned that social media is complete junk food, and all it does is just literally make you more stressed out. The second thing I learned from being on the dopamine detox is I learned that you are forced to be disciplined. You are forced to do the hard work, okay? When you're on this detox, literally, you have no other coping that you have to do. Like, when you're on this dopamine detox, like, the only thing you are focused on and can do is literally work. I mean, you have no social media, you have no TikTok, so the only thing that you're forced to do now is literally just work, I can tell you from my personal experience that being on this dopamine detox, like, the only thing that I was able to do is just work hard and read books and work on my YouTube videos and take notes on this community that I'm in. That's the only thing that I was able to do on this detox. And you want to know why? Because I had zero distractions, no distractions. I had no social media, no TikTok, no Instagram, nothing. I had no distraction. So that meant the only thing I had to do was work hard and read books. Isn't that awesome? Like, that's what I realized on this detox, and it was really cool, and it was amazing that, like, bro, now I have zero distractions. So the only thing that I'm forced to do now is just do the hard work and read and make videos and edit videos and go on a walk and hit the gym. Like, it was honestly awesome, man. It's pretty cool. And honestly, like, being on this detox, I probably read more books, and I literally read more than any time in my life, And the reason for that is because, like, because I had no distraction, now the only thing I was forced to do is just read and do the hard work, which is really awesome, really cool. And I think people should, like, experience that once in their life, is having zero distractions and just focusing on doing the hard work, okay? Now, the third thing that I learned on this detox was you are forced to go out in the real world and gain experience. Now, for me personally, before I was on this detox, I had TikTok and I had Instagram and stuff like that, right? And well, when I would scroll, I would see some interesting news, and then I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go talk to my friends about that. And that's exactly what I would do. I would go and I would talk to my friends about what I saw on TikTok, what I saw on Instagram, and I would say, oh, look, have you seen this new Epstein file? Oh, have you seen this new video, this funny meme, city boy, you know? I would go and talk to my friends about what I saw, and it was stupid. It was complete waste of time. You know, nobody was benefiting from this conversation, you know? And well, that's what I learned from being on this detox, is that, you know, when you have no social media, now you're kind of forced to just go out in the real world and gain experience. You know, because these couple of days that I was on this detox, I was very quiet. You know, I didn't have much to talk about, you know? And I kind of felt weird. I was like, why am I feeling this way? You know, I want to have something to talk about. You know, I'm a very social person, so I love talking, you know? And I was like, why am I very quiet? You know, I want to speak, you know, but I can't because I have nothing else to talk about, you know? So I told one of my mentors about what I was going through, and he literally just told me, bro, you just need to go out in the real world and gain experience and just talk to your friends about all the self-improvement habits that you're doing. Tell them that you're reading books, tell them that you're going to gym, tell them that you're making a YouTube video, tell them the lesson you learned with this girl, etc., you know? And I didn't think about that, and I actually thought about it, and I was like, yo, he has a point, you know? Like, when you have social media and TikTok, yeah, sure, you have things to talk about, but they're very irrelevant and they provide no benefit to you or the person, you know. But when you talk about the self-improvement habits that you're doing, like for example, reading books, going to the gym, focusing on your business, working on something meaningful, like, you have more things to talk about, and you actually help the other person because you're telling them, hey bro, look what I learned from, you know, doing this, or look what I gained from, you know, not doing this or doing this, you know. So it's actually very beneficial. So that is something that I learned being on this detox, is that you are forced to gain experience, and you must gain experience, because if you don't, then you're gonna have nothing to talk about with your friends, you know, and that kind of sucks. So when I was on this detox, I literally learned that, like, if you want to have something to talk about with your friends and be a person who's very social and talkative and always has something to say, you have to just go out in the real world and get experience, and literally just talk to your friends about the things you're doing, the good habits. Like, tell them, like, oh yeah, I'm like meditating right now, I'm journaling right now, I'm reading right now, I'm reading this book, and I learned this and that, you know. Like, it's just so much better if you just go out to the real world and get experience. Literally your whole life gets much better, and you're not just benefiting talking to these things about your friends, but your friends are also benefiting because you're passing down knowledge and advice to them that will overall probably help them in their life, you know. So that's what I learned on the detox, is if you want to be someone who has always something to talk about, very social, loves having good conversation, that is very talkative, you have to go out in the real world and just gain experience about something, you know, maybe about girls, God, religion, fitness, whatever. But just go out in the real world and gain experience so you can have things to talk about. Now, the last thing that I learned on the detox is reading is fun. All right, reading is fun. Okay, look, on this detox, like I said before, like I said, like literally a couple minutes back, I literally said that, like, on this detox, like, I was forced to just read, you know, because I had no other distraction. I had zero distractions, you know. I had no TikTok, no Instagram, nothing. So now I was just forced to read and, you know, do all the good habits and work my business, YouTube, you know. So literally on the detox, like I said in the beginning, I read way more than I ever did in my life before. You know, I'm literally about to finish a book called Can't Hurry by David Goggins, and it's amazing. All right, it's honestly so fun, like literally reading a book and just highlighting a portion that you like read, and just literally putting a little note and saying, oh, do this next time, you know, oh, don't let your emotions direct your actions, you know. Like, that's something that I learned on this detox, that reading is fun, and that it's so overlooked and nobody really wants to do it because, oh, it's hard, oh, shut up, you know. Reading is fun, and if you're not reading in 2026, I don't know what you're doing. You're probably wasting your time, right? So I learned that reading is so beneficial. It has such a good ROI. It benefits you so much in your life. It helps you gain knowledge and just get better at speaking, and it's so much more things. All right, so on this detox, I learned that reading is fun and it's cool, and that it helps you so much. All right, and anybody watching this right now, I highly recommend you start reading books. You know, you can start from the Bible, you can start from like David Goggins books, whatever. Just start reading books. I promise you, it'll help you out so much in your life. So those are the lessons that I learned from being on the dopamine detox. I gotta go now. I have to go on a 5 a.m. run, but as always, I believe in you guys, but God believes you more. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless, and thanks for watching. And by the way, if you want to learn more from me and want to ask me for advice, here you go now. Someone got on the way, but it's fine. But if you want to join my free community called Build Your Virtue, link below. And yeah, I'll see you guys. God bless.